I will formally start with the introduction. My name is Sheila. My last name is Sheila Ahuja. I am a CFA charter holder as well as a certified FRM, right? Please don't call me Miss Ma'am. Just call me by my first name. It's totally cool. I have worked with companies like MH Alshaya. You probably haven't heard of MH Alshaya, but you've heard of Texas Roadhouse, P.F. Chang's, Cheesecake Factory, Victoria's Secret, Bath & Body Works, H&M, Debenhams, and I can go on. Starbucks, right? That's going to become your best friend with the CFA program. Yes. I heard another name. It's the parent company, right? They're based in Kuwait. So I was working with them as a financial analyst, and I was looking after two brands, Bath & Body Works and Victoria's Secret, right? While I was working, I was studying. So I know your pain of how it is difficult to manage career, at the same time family, at the same time studies, right? I've also worked with companies like Altair. While Alshaya is a Kuwaiti family that owns many businesses, Altair is an Emirati family that also owns many businesses. They're a very popular name because you would have heard of Matar Altair is heading the RTA, right? They're also taking serious positions in the board of directors of many banks, many civil companies, etc. So I was working with them as an internal auditor, right? And the beauty of internal audit is A, we are considered the most annoying people, right? So when you walk in, people don't like you. Two is the fact that you get to learn so many businesses. You learn the business before you audit it, before you check it. So I had the golden opportunity of studying retail, food and beverage, Altair Motors, the entire motors division. They even have a petrol pump. So petrol pump, they run logistics, which is Danzis, which is a sister company of DHL, right? And they have many, many more businesses. So as an auditor, you get to flavor every business model and understand how the organization operates, right? So those are the few positions I've worked with. I've also worked with companies like AIG and Majid Al Fateh, MAF. All right. I think that's a lot of introduction about myself. I was born and brought up here in the UAE. So, I was literally a Dera baby for a very long time. And now I've just switched to Dubai. So I'm learning my area around me. But Dubai has been very close to me. I did my high schooling here, but I did my bachelor's degree in the UK. I was studying at Manchester Business School, and I graduated with a first class in finance. I didn't pursue my master's, right? Because A, I soon realized that I can't live on my father's money, and I was poor because I was just graduated. I graduated in 2008, which was a horrible year, thanks to Lehman Brothers. But I think now this prize of the horrible year has gone to the 2020 graduates because they have graduated in the Corona crisis, which is even worse than Lehman Brothers. So thank you for taking this, this prize off my hand of graduating in the worst year. I'm just kidding, guys. I understand your pain, right? So finding jobs was difficult. And so I wasn't able to pursue with my master's, which automatically brought me to what is the most affordable and valuable certification. Because hey, master's, you need an arm and a leg, and you don't even know if it's going to return money back. Not to mention, master's is only relevant if you do it from the Harvard and the Yale and the Stanford. If you do it from a back of the alley college, you're like, what? So with CFA Institute, what I realized is you don't really need to have that, because it's just CFA worldwide. It's one title. They don't have the number of seats restrictions. They don't have, entry requirements unless you have a bachelor's degree. That's their only entry requirement. But they don't need you to do your GMATs and your TOEFLs and etc., right? You just need to prove that you study the material and you take their exam and you can pass their exam. You have enough knowledge to move to the next level of the finance program and eventually become a charter holder, right? Hence, I didn't do my master's. So that's a little bit overview about myself. So welcome on board. Okay, guys, so this is the orientation class for November 2021. I will be walking you through the basics about the CFA program in general. And today, we will be doing the calculator demo, which is absolutely mandatory for you to understand how the calculator works, because you'll be using this device on the exam day. So introductions already completed. CFA Institute's website, we're going to walk you through that. the exam registration, the study support, CFA Level-I program curriculum. So the curriculum is beautifully structured as a layered mechanism. I'm going to walk you through that. It's got levels, it's got topics, and it has study sessions. And then it has learning outcome statements. Don't worry, I'll walk you through that. Then we're going to talk about Edge Education's professional course package. Some of you are already enrolled on this package, so it's a good idea to know what benefits you can avail. Some of you are looking to enroll in the package, so then again, you would know what we offer. So class schedule, class tests, online portal, what to do after class. Admin support, building amenities, and then class rules. So quickly starting off with the website, the fees, and the deadlines. This discussion is entirely for the November 2021 exam, right? You will find more information on CFA Institute's website for any other exam window if you're looking to register. So the exam window we're talking about is going to happen on 16th of November to 22 November. Anytime within this period, you can schedule your exam and take it. Thanks to Corona, the exams are now computer-based, which means we're not all going to sit the exam at one time. You schedule your appointment and you go for your exam and you take your exam on a computer, right? Registration window was opened on 20th August 2020, last year. The scheduling window, the time to book your appointments, opened on 2nd of Feb 2021, already passed. The early registration deadline to register for the exam was on 4th of May 2021, and at that time, the exam fee was $700, already gone. So if you booked your exam and you took advantage of the reduced fee, good on you. But what we have open right now is the late registration deadline, and the deadline is on the 10th of August 2021. If you miss that date, you can't take the exam in November, right? Then you will have to register for the next window. It's not, a big mess. It's just the fact that your exam will get a little delayed, and you'll have this quiet period where you need to revise by yourself before you get to the next exam, so you don't forget the information. The exam fee for that is $1,000. Notice the asterisk, because if you're registering for this exam for the first time, then there's an enrollment fee of $450, regardless of whether it's early or late, right? This is a one-time enrollment fee, so that CFA Institute is getting you on board. Now, once you register for the exam, remember what we said, you need to schedule your appointment within this window. You cannot choose your date. It depends on what is available, right? There are exams running at 7 in the morning, 10 in the morning, 12, 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock, and so on. So you can choose your time and you can choose your day, whatever's available. And the scheduling deadline is 25th of August, 2021. God forbid, if you're not happy with the time and the day you've chosen, let's say your boss is inviting you to a very important meeting and you can't go. So you can reschedule before 14th of October 2021. If you reschedule, there is an extra fee of $25. Asterisk again, this is a reduced fee due to the pandemic situation. The original fee for changing your date is $250. So I don't see a reason why you should be changing your date unless it's like a coronavirus situation or an extreme hardship. Try to stick to your date, right? Register for the exam before 10th of August, please, so you don't miss taking the exam in this window. Any questions?
The rescheduling deadline, right? So is it for just this window? Or
just this window. You can't move it to the next window. So rescheduling has to be rescheduling. Let's say I booked my exam 16th of November, but I want to change it to 20th of November, $25. If you want to change it to a completely different window, you've lost the entire exam fee. $1,000 gone, right? And you'll have to pay that again for the next exam.
How many times you can write CFA Level-I?
Good question. So 6 times.
6 times.
Right. So they've just introduced this new rule, right? It wasn't there before. There is a limit to how many times you can write level 1 now. It's 6 times.
No, what in a year?
Oh, in a year? Oh, sorry. I thought you said how many times can I write it, after which you're not allowed to write anymore. That was 6 times. But in a year, CFA exam happens 4 times in a year. But let's say we take the exam in November and God forbid we failed it. You can't go for the next window. You got to miss this. You go for the next one, So theoretically, you can only write it twice a year. Yeah, because you have to keep a gap of 6 months between every sitting.
What are the intervals?
So I like that. You know, a lot of people will help you say, this month, this month, this month. I will show you a system and you will never forget it. So we'll start with how many months in a year? 12. How many hours in first half of the day? 12, right? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. Damn it. 1, 2. Oh, why am I getting confused? 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sorry, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, right? So I'm going to superimpose the months on this. Instead of 12, we're going to write Feb. Instead of 1, we're going to write March. April, May, June, July, August, September. Can you guys see the color? October, November, December, and back to Jan. Right, so why did you do this, Sheila? It's because we have 4 quarters. This is level 1, level 2. This is level 1, level 3. This is level 1, level 2. This is level 1, level 3. You'll never forget it. So level 1 happens 4 times a year, starting from Feb to the next quarter, which is May, to the next quarter, which is August, to the next quarter, which is November, and then back to Feb. Level 2 happens Feb and August. Level 3 happens May and November. Questions?
You said there's a limit, right? 6 times?
Yeah, so if I take the exam, I fail it. I take the exam, I fail it. I take the exam, then I think after a while you might think to yourself, like, is this for me? But it shouldn't happen, but they've kept the limit to 6 times.
All 3 levels have limits?
Yes.
What about if you take the first one, you pass it, and then you forget it?
That's okay, there's no expiry. No expiry at all.
So which means now, if you're taking November, next August we can take level 2.
If you're taking November, next August you can take level. No, you can actually take level 2 right away. But if you fail it,
6 months.
yeah, if you fail a level, then you need to keep a 6 month gap. But let's talk about this. If you take November, you're probably not going to get your results in time to register for level 2. So what's going to happen is you're probably going to take August level 2.
So shall we wait for the result? So is it mandatory?
You have to wait for the results. So the results take 60 days, which is 2 months. And 2 months on, so December, Jan, you will not be able to prepare in time. Yeah, I know. Weird, right? But they promised us that it's going to take shorter time once they have mastered the computer-based system. Because they've migrated to the system in a hurry due to the coronavirus pandemic. But they've promised us it's going to shrink over time.
I hope they don't mess up the results.
I doubt so, because they have a very good quality control system, which they have walked us through, and so there is very little chance of messing up. Okie dokie. So moving on to the level 1 program. Upon registration for the exam, you will receive access to candidate resources. Now, nobody else can see this, only you can because you paid money to CFA Institute, right? This provides you with a host of study support. You can download Adobe Acrobat, you know this is PDF, right? And you can download your CFA curriculum for free. Well, technically not free because you paid the exam fee. It's kind of included in your exam fee. If you want the printable version, the printed version of this, then you need to pay them. My advice, don't bother. The soft copy is beautiful, it's good enough, and whatever you need, you print accordingly in your office. It's much cheaper. If you have to pay them, it's $250 for the books plus shipping. All right, so it's a lot expensive. I just print whatever I need in the office. Next, access to a portal of 1,200 questions. This is to all candidates. You get 3 mock exams, and each mock exam, sorry about that, it's not 6 hours. It's 4.5 hours each. My bad, that's a typo. Okay, so good idea would be, as soon as you register, download the CFA curriculum, right? The other good idea is When you download these, save them in a nice place because you might want to refer to them whenever you want.
That you are saying about the CFA website?
Yes. All of this is part of your exam package. So, a lot of people think about buying extra. Why buy extra when you have all of this, right? So you can make use of what you have, and if you need more, then extras are always available. You pay and you get the extra, right? Okay, now the CFA program comprises of 3 levels, as you guys know, level 1, level 2, level 3, and they have to be passed in succession. So you finish one, then the next, then the next. Now, a lot of people say, oh, Sheila, can I do level 1 here, and then level 2 here, and then level 3 there, and I'm done? Yes, but then you will have no life, and you will probably burn out by the time you reach level 3, right? And so generally, people expect to spend anywhere between 2.5 years to at least 5 years completing the course, right? Taking adequate breaks in between, finishing one level, then preparing for the next in a good amount of time. You don't want to just go through the levels and not really learn from what you studied, okay? Across each of the 3 levels, you will generally study 10 topics. For level 1, the 10 topics are organized into 19 study sessions or study blocks. Each study block has chapters, or what we call readings, around 1 to 4 readings. And each reading has many objectives, which we call learning outcome statements. Now, I know this is getting too much, so let me break it down for you. Level 1, 10 topics, which is further divided into study sessions, which is then further divided into readings, which is then further divided into learning objectives. Okay? Example, ethics is one study session. It has 5 readings and has hundreds of objectives. I don't really know how many, but it has many, many objectives. Similarly, you will have quants, like quantitative methods. You have 2 study sessions, 2 blocks, in total 8 chapters, which then are divided into, again, objectives, and so on. So that's exactly what your curriculum looks like. Questions?
So these 10 topics that you are saying,
Yes.
level 1. So what moves to the level 2 with the same topic?
Yes, so the exact same topics come in level 2, but a little bit more deeper. In level 3, some topics disappear, new topics come on.
Okay, some of the original ones
Will disappear. Like financial reporting, quantitative methods will disappear, and you'll have new subjects like behavioral finance, private wealth management, institutional wealth management, and so on.
So there will be 10 again.
No, over there I think they mislead you. They have around 13 topics over there. 13, yeah.
And level 2 also?
Level 2, 10. 10, 10, 13. But I mean, by the time we reach level 3, again, the topics could change.
So for level 1 and level 2, there is no change in topic?
Yeah, correct. It's just that the same topic, you go deeper. Yeah. Okay, let's walk you through the exam situation. So I've already said it's a computer-based exam, right? The exam is divided into 2 sections. You have the morning section and then the afternoon section, right? The total exam is 4.5 hours. 2 hours, 15 minutes in the morning, 2 hours, 15 minutes in the afternoon. When you are registering, it will tell you it is 5.5 hours. Where's the extra hour coming from? So in between, you have an optional 30-minute break. And before the exam starts, there's a 30-minute tutorial of how to use the computer-based system. Clear? So half an hour before, you have a tutorial, 2 hour, 15-minute exam, half an hour optional break. If you want to take the break, you take the break while sitting in your chair. You close your eyes, you sing a song, and then the break is over, and then you start the next exam. Or you can just say, I want to go to the next exam and start right away. Cool? Now, in the morning section, the topics that will be tested is ethics, and ethics will not be randomized. So you will get questions only on ethics, and you will be told the following questions are for ethics. Once that is finished, Then you will go to tools, where there will be 3 subjects that will be randomized. That is quantitative methods, economics, and financial reporting. So you'll get random questions from these sources. Are we good?
There is a percentage that affects how much.
Correct. For every topic, we have a percentage. That's coming up on the next slide. Now, once the morning section is over, please don't believe that on the 30-minute break, you can actually study. You can't. It's just good enough time to rest, go to the loo, close your eyes, eat a snack, and that's it, right? In the afternoon section, you will have again 2 blocks. The first block is called portfolio management. In this, you will have corporate finance and portfolio management, again, randomized. When you finish this block, the next block will have assets. It's got equity, fixed income, derivatives, and alternative investments. And these 4 subjects will be randomized. Questions? So when I say randomized, you wouldn't know where the question is coming from when you're in this section, right? They will not give you a title from this chapter or from this subject. Okie dokie. Let's get you introduced to the subjects. So these are your 10 subjects, right? We'll start with ethics. Ethics is about do good, don't cheat anyone, all of that, good things for 15 to 20% of the portion, right? It's the highest. Does anybody know why it's the highest?
They want to maintain the ethical standards.
Because what's so special about ethics in our profession?
You're handling other people's money.
Yeah, and you often have the saying, money is the root of all evil, right? So we want to make sure they're very ethical people when you're moving out into the financial world. Guess what? Ethics will repeat in level 2. Is the material any different? No. And the weightage, 10 to 15% of the portion. Ethics will repeat in level 3, and the material is the same. Weightage, 10 to 15% of the portion. Why are they teaching me the same thing over and over again? It's just like when you're working in a bank and they have ethical training. You need to do it repetitively, just so that it goes in there. That's exactly why, okay?
So after level 3, you'll be able to write a book on ethics?
We hope, or better yet, contribute to the CFA Society and tell us how to make our ethics better. Rather than reinventing the wheel, why don't we make the existing wheel better, right? Okay, so moving on to quantitative methods. Quantitative methods is all about statistics and math, right? So that's what you're going to spend your time, 8 to 12%. Yeah, you love it?
I don't like statistics.
Really? And you're from China? How does that work?
I just don't like it.
Oh my God, we always look at you guys and think, you guys are amazing at math.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
I do, yes.
That's unique. Right there. Okay. Yeah, welcome on board. Don't worry. I've got a lot of people who don't like math. It's a love-hate relationship. I personally feel it's because it's not being taught well, and I'm hoping to change that when I'm teaching quants, right? Okay.
So
Yeah.
the schedule that was provided, it started with quants, so there will be change? The ethics will come first now?
No. These are just your topics. I'm just walking you through them, but we will start with the calculator today and the calculator orientation, which is quants. Right. Then we have economics. Economics is 8 to 12% of the portion. We have financial reporting analysis, which is 13 to 17% of the portion. You have corporate finance, equity, fixed income, derivatives, alts, and portfolio. Why am I walking you through this? Guys, I want you to pay attention to how you should study. You know, there's a famous saying, if you have to cut a tree, spend 4 hours sharpening your tool and then 1 hour cutting it, right? Okay, so your strategy should be like this. Just 1 second. Your strategy should be to master the 2 biggest blocks, which is ethics and FRA, which is financial reporting. Because if you cover these 2 big blocks, come on, mental maths, 15 plus 13. 27. All right. So you cover 27 to 20 plus 17, 37% of the portion. 28. Okay, to 38, 37. Okay, there we go. I'm going to join you on the math front. Okay, so 28 to 37% of the portion. That's 1/3 almost, if you were to take the middle, 1/3 of your exam sorted. right? Then you move on to the subjects that are in the 8 to 12% of the range, okay? You will start studying quants, economics, and corporate finance. Sorry, my bad. Let me change that. My bad. Equity and fixed income. You need to get your asset classes sorted. So you've got equity and fixed income. Why this? So the two major products where people actually invest are fixed income, which is bonds. People put their money in the bank account. People buy fixed deposits. And then the other place, if people are more aggressive, they invest in stocks. Right? Now each of these, if you notice, is 10 to 12% of the portion. If we put it together, that's around 20 to 24% of your exam. Put together, almost half your exam is sorted. All right? You then focus your efforts on the 8 to 12% subjects. There's one more, which is what I was trying to walk you through. You have quants, you have economics, and you have corporate finance. And then icing on the cake, you finish off with the last 3 subjects, which is derivatives, alts, and portfolio. If you layer your studies this way and make sure you get the basics sorted, you should be okay easy to progress. So then, Sheila, why are you starting with quants? It's because the calculator is something that goes across all the subjects, and I really need to get you guys started on the calculator today, right? So once we start working on the calculator, you will realize I'm using it everywhere, and that's why we're going to then slowly start the other subjects. We're going to start with corporate finance. Then, Sheila, why are you starting with corporate finance? Is because when students know that this is where you need to focus your efforts, they completely ignore these, which we can't afford to. Because remember, this is half your exam, but that's the other half. So you can't pass with half. Oh, by the way, what is the pass mark? Or how much do you need to pass the exam? 70%. Brilliant. So doing just these 4 subjects will not get you through, right? You need to make sure you cover the others as well. So we start with these, and then we slowly roll ourselves down to the more important subjects.
So is there a minimum requirement in each topic? Or
No, it's overall, you need to get a 70%. So you can absolutely tank a subject because you don't like it, but then you need to make up for it in other subjects.
Only passing is important, yeah? Like,
70%? Yeah, correct. In fact, CFA Institute does not give percentile rankings. They don't say somebody got the 3rd rank or the 1st rank. Why? Why do they not give us percentile rankings? Why do they only say pass and fail?
They don't want people to brag.
Possibly. But here's the thing, right? So imagine this. You go to the doctor and you're like, doctor, I'm having problem breathing. What you gonna ask him first? What's your GPA? If he's a doctor, he's a doctor. He's fit to look at me and he's fit to give me medication, right? So similarly, if you're certified, you're certified. End of story. There's no such thing as better certified and worse certified. Yeah? So this profession is very similar to architecture. If you're an architect, you can make a building, right? You're qualified to make a building. If you're a doctor, you're qualified to see people. If you're a chartered financial analyst, you're qualified to invest. Yeah? So we've got the top 2 subjects, which is ethics and financial reporting. Already walked you through that. The next 2 subjects, which is equity and fixed income, walked you through that as well. And then we have the 3 blocks, which is quants, eco, and corporate, right? And then we have the little subjects, which is the bottom 3, which I haven't put a star and asterisk around. But I like to call them like your toppings, right? The toppings on your cake. You pick and choose which ones you like, master them really well, and then go for the exam. Okay. So the CFA, the Edge professional course. Now, some of you guys, like I said, have enrolled into the program already. Some of you guys are looking to enroll. These are the benefits of the course, classes and training hours. We have 44 classes, which amount to a total of 150 training hours. How many hours does CFA Institute recommend you need to study? 300. Correct. So then, Sheila, why isn't we doing 300 hours? It's because we do 150 hours here, and you do exactly the same at home. So if you come to a 3-hour class here, you revise 3 hours at home, right? If you can replicate that, we feel that's good enough, right? So you come to class, you listen to me, and we learn together, and then you go home and you just practice. If you get stuck, then you go back to the books and read again. Why am I getting stuck? Maybe I'm missing some information. Maybe I wasn't listening to her very well. Maybe she was not very clear. So you read a little bit, or you ask me, and we go over it again, and you go back and practice. That's all I need, right? And towards the end, you try to put it all together through revising and practicing. Okay. We have one-on-one hours. So God forbid, let's say you're nervous to ask questions in class. You can ask the team for an appointment with me and say, I need to see Sheila and I need to ask my doubts, or I need to discuss something personal. That's 4 hours per student that is dedicated to them. A lot of the students like to use this towards the end of the exam when they collect all their doubts and they just want to sit with me and discuss all their exam paper questions or practice questions.
So you will be teaching us all the topics?
Yes. Texas BA2 Plus calculator. So since you need this calculator for your exam, we see no reason to send you out and say, go buy it. We put it as part of your package, and it is included when you join the course. Should you already have this calculator, you can speak to the team and say, listen, I don't want one. Can you reduce the fee for me a little? And they will do that.
Now this belongs to us?
Yes, the calculator belongs to you. You need it for the exam. Okay, the Edge study guide. So for those of you who registered and enrolled, you will already have your study books. It's a color version of your study notes. It has everything from start to finish in full HD version, right? You will be receiving 4 of these books as we progress through the course. Sheila, why not give me all 4 now? It's because when we switch topics and we go to the next book, students often forget the books. So when we're giving it to you in class, we always make sure that you have your books with you all times. Next, access to online portal. So Edge has an online portal on our website where Gulam or the team, admin team, will be sending you your username and password. When you log in, you'll be able to see the same notes in PDF format. So if you want to put it in your iPad and study at office, welcome, right? Or let's say you're more of a person who likes to study while you're on the go. You're doing a commute, you travel by metro. So you can download it all and you don't have to carry your books. You can just study and practice.
So this we can keep in your office or something? This is the study material?
This is the study material. You can leave it here, but we often have people who take it away. But if you leave it here, just give it to the admin team. They will look after it and keep it in a safe place. Not that some candidate...
If I want to keep it in my office?
Yeah, you can. But then if you keep it in your office and then you come to class, you need something.
It's in the same building.
Oh, that's fine. Then it's fine. Just don't let your boss catch you reading that unless you're the boss.
Sure that.
Okay. Okay, yeah, under newspapers. Okay, so mock assessments. So listen up. So we have tests that are conducted, like we've discussed this at the start. It's computer-based tests. Why are they so important? Because they will affect your pass protection. What is pass protection? Has anybody heard of this before?
Yeah.
Yeah, what is it?
Kind of.
Kind of, go on.
In support if we pass.
60% if we pass for the mock exam,
Mhm.
on average.
Yeah, and?
Then we'll get, and if we fail for the CFA main exam, then we might get another free.
What's the
Free
number
time.
of classes that you attend during the...
Yeah, so you guys have worked together. So you've got 2 conditions, right? The first condition is, from the mock tests that we have, you need to score an average of 60%. It's okay to fail one entire test as long as you make it up with the next test, right? And attend 90% of the classes. You see, I cannot train you while you're sitting at home. Yes, we try to support you with catch-up sessions, etc., but attending class is very, very important. If you achieve these 2 criteria and yet you fail the exam, which is a rare occurrence, Level 1 has never happened, by the way. Level 3, yes, happens once or twice. We will take you back for training for free. The reason why people fail is A, they don't come to class. Too tired, I don't want to go to class, I want to sleep. Come here and sleep, right? No problem, right? I will not disturb you. I'll just be talking and you'll be absorbing some information. Or people come here, literally watch me like they're watching a movie, have popcorn, and then go home and forget about everything. You need to practice. So if you don't practice, no one can save you. So if you're practicing and attending class, why would you fail? Right? That's all we ask.
Can I ask you one doubt?
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would like to apply for February.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like only till November the classes are there. Scheduled the classes only scheduled till November.
It's in November, and then there'll be another batch starting for Feb.
Another batch. So if I'm coming in this batch, yeah, so I can will you accommodate me the other batch?
So if you're attending training with this batch and then you want to retake, then you'll have to pay the fees again. So yeah, you can speak to them. I don't know what the system is, but if you speak to them, they probably will help you out. What they will advise you to do is take the training now and then later on take a revision course. Because we have a revision course which is extremely reduced. It's only 2,000 dirhams, right? And it runs for like a week and a half, and we only practice questions.
It'll be at the end, yeah?
Yeah, it'll be at the end. So that's kind of like a review before you just go in for the exam. Yeah. So that's pass protection. Now, immediately after pass protection, we want to know, when are my tests? So 12th of June, you will have your first test, and it'll be on quantitative methods. Like I said, it's going to be CBT. The test will be assigned from 8 o'clock in the morning. Here's the secret. It's until 8 the next morning. But because we don't want to run the risk that people overslept and forgot about the test, we generally say 12 in the night, okay? But the test is actually there till 8 next morning. You can take the test anytime, right? Once you submit your results, you will not get the score instantly because you're waiting for everybody else to submit their results. Next morning, the computer is already programmed to release the scores, and when you log back in, you can see your answers and your correct and incorrect answers, okay? Don't worry, your scores will not be shared with your friends. The only people who can see the entire class scores is the admin, okay? Test 2 will be financial reporting, and that'll be on the 3rd of July, and so on and so forth. So this is timed to be exactly a week or two after we finish class material, okay? And then you have access to study rooms. So just behind us, there's another office with desks and computers. You're welcome to come here and sit and study. We're open from 10:30 in the morning till 10:30 in the night. This building has free parking after 6 o'clock. You can come, and if you're in the building, come upstairs, sit and study for 1-2 hours, because guess what? When you go home, you can't think about anything other than your bed and TV and food, right? So it's a good idea to just come upstairs and say, I'll do 1 hour before I go home. And when you go home, just go chill. Done for the day. You don't have to like open your books in front of your family and your family's shouting at you like, give us time as well, okay? So access to study rooms and exam registration support. Now, the $1 million question, what to do after class? So while we're here, I'm orchestrating the whole class, so you have no choice but to follow me. But when you go home, what do I do? Should I revise her notes? Should I study the curriculum? Should I practice questions? And our solution is read for 30 minutes, the same notes that we did in class. Just revise them. It'll happen very fast. If required, put your own thoughts in your book based on what you remember, what happened in class. And then practice for 1 hour. If you can give us 1.5 hours per day, that is outside of class hours, it's enough. You will have people who say, oh, I studied 5 hours. Those are people who are catching up. They started late and they're catching up. But if you can do 1.5 hours per day, that's more than enough. Squeeze in the half hour in lunch. Get the 1 hour done before you go home. Either in the office, sit on your desk, do a couple of questions, then pack your bags and say, bye-bye, I'm going home, I'm done. It doesn't have to kill you, right? Studying doesn't have to kill you. It has to be a fun process. So read the Edge study slide pack, mark up your notes, and add some more notes to your book, right? Guys, the book that we give you, make it as dirty as possible. Write as much as you want in it, because that becomes the book you will review before the exam. You don't need anything else, right? Number 2, prepare a formula sheet. So, you know what they say, the best person to learn from is the person who's already made the mistake, myself. So, when I prepared for the CFA exam, this was back in 2008, because I graduated and I couldn't find a job, so the CFA was the next best choice. I went through the course listening to the lectures, going home and no practice. Why did I not practice? Because I was a finance graduate. I graduated top of my university. Why do I need to practice? And then when I sat the mock exam, I got 33%. Needless to say, I was almost crying. My family was like, are you okay? Because I've never failed an exam. And I told them, like, this is my mistake. I didn't practice. So that 1 month before the exam, I practiced like nobody's business. And then, of course, needless to say, I passed the exam. But what I realized is along the way, there were so many formulas that I forgot to jot them down. So while you are studying with me, if you keep an A4 sheet of paper inside your book, and every time you see a formula on the screen, just pull out that sheet of paper and write down the formula. As you are progressing, you will prepare your own formula sheet. Because it's in your own handwriting, it's easier to memorize. Does Edge offer a formula sheet? Of course, at a price. But then you have to memorize that. If you prepare your own, you don't have to memorize that. It's already there with you.
That formula sheet is not part of this package.
No, it's not. It's part of the revision package. But believe you me, make your own. It really is worth it. Yeah, because the formula sheet prepared by us is just TypeScript. When you make yours, example, when you make yours, you will be like, sigma is equals to x minus x bar squared summed up divided by n. When you do this, you will do arithmetic average. When you will do this, this is the total observation. So you can annotate your own formulas. So when you're revising, this will be, and you will have photographic memory in the exam. Oh, that formula was on that sheet of the page. It will really help. I mean, we have monetary solutions to it. But trust me, this is the best. Read and learn. When you write, you learn better. Next, practice, practice, practice. Remember, 1:30. That's your ratio. For every 30 minutes reading, spend 1 hour solving questions. So the next thing is, where can I get questions from? Redo your examples in your book. We have a lot of practice questions in your workbook. Number 2, end of chapter questions in the CFA curriculum. Remember, the curriculum is for free, the PDF. At the end of every chapter of CFA Institute, you have questions. How many? 30, 40, 50 questions. Do those. And then if you finish this, then remember the 1,200 questions you have on the website? Do those. And then when you're done with that, then you come to me and say, Sheila, I'm done. And I'll tell you that on our portal, we have 800 questions. Do those. And when you're done with that, then remember you have those 3 mock exams. Each of those mock exams has 180 questions. Do those. Right? You have a lot of practice material, guys. So if you can just conquer them, that will be good enough. If you need more, payable solutions are always available. For example, so we are partners with Wiley. Wiley is Efficient Learning, and their self-study package is for 1,500. And this package includes 5 hard copy books that is covering the curriculum in detail. It has practice question bank of 4,000 questions. It has 2 mock exams, and it also has a formula sheet, right? So this is also available for purchase. This is the discounted price only for our professional course students. If you're buying it online, it's actually 3,000 dirhams. So this we cannot sell separately. Only if you're a registered student would you get this deal. But again, do you have time to do all of these questions? You need to do them, but would you have time? Now, the next question. How many questions should you attempt before you go for the exam? Tick, tock. The ideal number of questions is 3,000. If you can do 3,000 multiple choice questions, you are good, right? Sheila, that sounds a lot. No, it's not, honestly. Because when you're preparing for the exam, towards the end, you will anyway do 3 mocks. Each mock is 180 questions, right? Let's round that out. Let's make it 200. 200 times 3, 600. 600 knock off 60. 540. These are 540 questions already. And that's just 3 mocks. Remember the assessments we're talking about? You're going to be doing questions there. In class, you'll be doing questions. On the portal, you'll be doing questions. End of chapter, you'll be doing questions. If you cover everything, you'll be done with 3,000 questions. Yeah. So should you need more, you only decide, as you move along the course. Don't buy everything and then say, okay, now where do I start from? Start with the basic, build it up. If you need more, there's always more available. Mistakes to avoid. The 10 sins to avoid. Number 1, missing a class. There's nothing wrong with missing a class. It's just that it'll really set you back mentally and actually. Mentally, because when you come back for the next class, you'll feel like, oh, I'm out of place. I've seriously missed something. Probably you've missed nothing because that chapter was completely unrelated to this next chapter. But it's going to stay in your mind. Secondly, you still have to cover up the previous content. For that, we provide students with video classes. So you can see that we're recording right now. This video would be edited. Students, anything we say funny or jokes we crack, that's all removed. And only relevant material is kept in the video. Breaks are edited as well. And then it's given to you as a secured link on YouTube, which you can watch. Every student has access to 4 free videos. If you start missing more classes, then the videos are chargeable. Why only 4? Remember, how many classes are we having? Yeah, and how many do you need to attend to keep your pass protection? So how many can we miss? 10%, that's 4 classes. Hence, 4 videos is what we can provide to ensure that even if you're meeting your pass protection, you're attending 90% of the classes, the other 10% we're providing to you in video form. And you have that complete coverage, right? Okay. So each class is 1 week of hard work by video. Why? Because when you get the video, you tend to pause it so often, and then things start to distract you. You will never end up finishing it. Sorry? Strictly will be 8 hours? True, because, if you watched a video at home, you tend to pause it so many times and rewind and start again. True. So save yourself the trouble and attend class. Not submitting homework to the front desk on time. In the very rare occasions, if you're being naughty and you're not studying, then I tend to give out assignments for you to finish, which you then have to submit to the front desk and they correct it and they give it back. That's very, very rare. But mostly we prefer you guys to remain as professionals and do your homework that is in your books on time. Skipping or delaying tests, please don't do it. Don't skip your test. If you have a situation, like Sheila, this Saturday, I can't take the test because I'm flying, I'm traveling. Okay, inform us in advance and take the test before your group, but not after. Okay, so the rule is if you can't take the test on the day, you can take the test before that day, but not after that day. Now, why? This is to be fair with everybody else in the room. Now, the other reason is, Sheila, what if I've had month end and month end was really busy and I couldn't study? Here's the thing. Your tests have been informed to you already. It's not a surprise. Month end was really, really hard, was a surprise. Probably after your office hours, when you attend the test, your performance will not be that great. But if you've been studying diligently, it shouldn't stop you from taking a test. Right? So, moral of the story, can't skip tests. Okay, next, being lazy and falling behind your study schedule. That one day you took off and you didn't cover up your material is going to cost you a lot. So please make sure you catch up with your study material. What happens if you did fall behind? Get in touch with me ASAP. Why? Because as soon as you come and tell me, Sheila, the last material you taught, I still haven't finished it. What do I do now? You're already on the next subject. That will be for me to decide whether you should go back and finish that and then continue with what we're doing right now, or maybe I'll tell you, ignore it. It has nothing to do with the rest of the subjects. Just focus on what we're doing right now. So I'll be able to give you advice and I'll be able to help you get back on with the study. So don't be lazy and don't fall behind your schedule. Rewriting the content word for word in a separate notebook. Don't do that. Because we have time and November is the exam, this is a problem with the ladies, right? We pull out our colored pens, we pull out a neat notebook and we start writing everything from scratch. Don't do it. It's a waste of time, right? Instead, use that colored pen to underline stuff in the same book that we're studying every day. Use that time to reread the material in the book, but don't rewrite the book. If you want to prepare a summary, let's say sometimes what people do is in one A4 sheet of paper, they like to summarize the whole chapter. Oh, good job. That's actually something we like. So making short summary notes, a good habit, but don't rewrite. Remember, we're talking about the sins. So Please make sure you update your formula sheet on time. Don't leave it for the end. There are so many students who come back to me and say, Sheila, you said it to us at the start, but I didn't do it and I'm suffering now. There are around 300 to 400 formulas that you need to know. Sounds a lot, but as you progress through the course, it becomes normal. So please make sure you prepare those formulas already. Please ask for help if you need it. Don't think to yourself, I will try to do this by my own, and if I have a problem, I will get in touch with her. No, I'm your walking, talking Google. So if you have a problem and you have a doubt, Sheila, what is assets? I'm ready to answer. That's what you're paying for. That's what you should be utilizing. But don't think, oh, I'll cover it up and then I'll ask her. Or maybe if I ask her, I'll sound dumb. There's no such thing like that, right? So everybody comes from different backgrounds. Everybody comes from different levels. I'm happy to entertain it all. Not asking for help when required in a timely manner. Please make sure you ask for help. Forgetting your calculator, stationery, and study notebook. We can help you with the stationery. We have lots of pens and pencils. We're a training center. But we can't really help you with your calculator because each calculator costs 250 dirhams. So we can't keep popping them open every time you forget a calculator. So please make sure you're bringing one. I usually carry my spare. So the first student that comes to class and has forgotten usually takes my spare. So please make sure you don't forget. And your study notebook, they will not print more for you guys. So please make sure you carry your books with you. Leaving rubbish behind and making a mess near the coffee water station. You probably noticed we have no water. Yeah. Thanks to Corona. Right? So due to KHDA rules, coffee, water, all of that has stopped so that we don't share cups and mugs. And even if it's people tend to huddle near the water station, so that has been stopped. And please don't write on the furniture. Lastly, please make sure you sign your attendance. Why? Because we want to make sure you get your 90% attendance in line. Where is my attendance? In the front desk. Just walk into the reception and they will have your attendance sheet right there. Any questions? Okie dokie. Last two slides, please. Admin support and amenities. We are open 7 days a week. Yes, we go home and sleep, but we're working on shift patterns. So the office is open at all times. From 10:30 in the morning till 10:30 in the night. Any changes in schedules will be communicated promptly via WhatsApp or email. If your contact details change, please update the admin desk as soon as possible. We do not change the schedule, but in the rare occasion, like what happened with COVID, if we need to reach out to you ASAP, we usually do it on WhatsApp. If you miss a class, contact admin for help on catching up. Any troubles, these are our contact numbers. That's the mobile number, that's the landline, and that's the email address. Coffee shops are downstairs. We've got a Starbucks downstairs and we've got a Cha-Cha Chai. Convenience stores, we've got across the fountain area, we've got Fresh Plus and Bakeria. I don't think Kmart is there anymore, so they've shut down. Okay. Moving on to class rules. Try not to come to class late. It has the same effect of missing a class. So if you miss a class and you feel like, oh, what did I miss? The same feeling you get with coming late. Also, if you come late, I can't cover the material. So we'll probably finish the course without really covering the entire material. So if there's any chapter or subject that's left, the onus is on you, right? So please come to class on time. Noise and talking, just don't disturb while we're in session, but you're welcome to discuss and talk to each other when we're in class. Behavior, please be kind, right? We all come from different backgrounds. We gotta be considerate and tolerant of each other. Bring your calculator. Enough said. Stationery, please bring that too. Breaks. Breaks usually happen every 1.5 hours, unless we have a prayer break. So I'm already overdue on my break by 20 minutes, so we're gonna be taking that very soon. You see that is in red for a reason, right? So guys, I know we're all working professionals. I know we have important meetings and items to attend to, but you're here for a reason, right? You're here to cover the material. You could do that at home, but you're here for a reason. So I wanted to share a story with you. When I was working at Al-Shaya, I was working with this Russian boss, right? And they're very particular. So my boss comes up to me and says, Sheila, you need to practice being present. I looked at him and I was like, has he been working too much? Because I'm like, dude, I'm here. What do I need to practice being present? And he's like, you need to practice being present. And then once I got the courage of asking him, like, what do you mean by that? And he said, you're always doing 2 things or 3 things at the same time. So you're not in any of the 3 places where you want to be. So you're on the phone and you're trying to do something. So you either give this person 100% attention or you give 100% attention to what you're doing. Multitasking is a great idea, but it doesn't work, right? So moral of the story, if you're here and you've already, taken yourself out of a situation to come here, then give me your 110%. In the event I catch you and you're on your phone, just because I care for you and I really want you to pass this exam, I will ask you to put your phone face down on the table. Not because I'm like shouting at you or anything, just because I really, really want you to pass this exam, all right? So that's me looking out for you. So no usage of phones. Okay, that's the end of the orientation. We'll be taking a 10-minute break, and when we come back, we'll start with the calculator. All right, good luck. See you in 10 minutes.